The term culture can be defined as the idea of shared customs, traditions, and created meanings within a particular group of people. Although there are many different cultures with various traditions and customs, many individuals prioritize their own culture and judge others as inferior or less than. Only through studying others and their contrasting ways of life can we truly begin to appreciate and understand that our own way of living isn't always the absolute right and only way. Within this idea of many major individual cultures, there is the idea of subcultures. There are many different cultures branching from and within larger, more generic groups. An example of this is the subculture of Gyaru, or Gal, in Japan. Although this group and its definition is ever changing over time, the basis of its idea and the reasoning behind it seems to stay consistent. Beginning in the 1990s, Gyaru became a trend among young girls in Japan, resulting in short skirts, lots of makeup, high heels, dramatized eye makeup, and tanner skin than the normal standards for Japanese culture. Along with these physical traits becoming more popular, higher-priced clothing, specifically Western fashion, was extremely desired by those in this subculture, highlighting how different cultures can affect and change one another. Going more into depth about Japanese culture in general, Japan has been regarded by many as one of the most economically and technologically advanced societies. Japanese culture is often described as being homogeneous, meaning the same and equal across the board, and completely unique from that of any other country, resulting in a sense of nationality and pride for Japanese people. However, it can also result in the assumption that all members of Japanese culture share the same characteristics. The Gyaru subculture is just one minor piece of evidence that proves how diverse and individualized each culture can really be within a whole world of different diverse cultures.
The Japanese culture is known to be collectivistic, meaning that their society prioritizes the success of the group and its accomplishments. This is extremely different from the United States and other Western cultures, where society focuses on their own individual goals and achievements. With this being said, the Gyaru subculture is a very interesting and somewhat traditional breaking concept with Eastern culture. It focuses more on the individual perfecting a certain look, which one could say is somewhat influenced by Western culture and physical traits without having the idea of a group or other success in mind. Karis Group said in her 2021 research article, Core Concepts of Japanese Culture, that great effort is put in place in Japan's culture to preserve traditional methods and forms of arts and crafts. Japanese artistic endeavors over the last few decades have made major contributions to global contemporary art, especially in the fields of architecture, graphic design, textiles, and fashion. Although not an originally traditional method or custom, some claim that the Gyaru lifestyle is a sense of art. It allows individuals to, in a way, enhance their features, showing their personality and nature through detailed, dramatic eye makeup, bright-colored hair, and flashy, expensive clothing. Even though this form of art is fairly different from the norm in Japanese culture, it still highlights a similar but different take on using art in individuals' self-image to express themselves and their traits. Japan's value of self-expression ties back to old Japanese mythology, where those gods were often shown displaying unique representations of human emotion in an unfiltered manner. Contribution, social interaction, and consideration for others are values that children in Japan have historically been taught for decades to appreciate and apply to their everyday life.
This inspired the development of many different groups, such as the Gyaru subculture. Japanese culture, compared to North American culture, differs in the sense that Japan's sense of self comes from the way one interacts with others, while North America's sense of self comes from mostly just individual personality. Normally, the ideal beauty standard for Japanese citizens is pale, pearly, and smooth skin, in an attempt to mask any imperfections. In many Asian countries, it is typical to find beauty products and treatments that include chemicals that can lighten and bleach your skin to appear whiter. In fact, skin bleaching, which comes with additional health risks, is a somewhat common extreme used to achieve this certain beauty norm, showing the lengths many will go to achieve a certain physical appearance, which is not only a common pattern in Japan, but among many other cultures, including American culture. Branching from the Japanese norm of pale skin, Gyaru members focus on achieving tan skin, a common Western, specifically American desire among many individuals. With the Gyaru subculture's focus on tanned and darker skin, Gyaru also highlights many characteristics of Western influence, showing a great pull away from traditional Japanese practice. In a book written by Yumiya Kawamura, they state, "Scholars have presumed that fashion is a product of Western society. There has been a shift from equating fashion with lifestyles of social elites in the West and the rise of a mass fashion industry throughout the course of the 20th century. With this being said, Gyaru style greatly represents the increasing influence of Western fashion. The participants wear extremely bright colors, short miniskirts, tall high heels, and show more skin than the normal before."
In another article, author Manish Das stated AWC is the process through which consumers attain the necessary knowledge, skills, and behaviors that are similar to that of Western culture. While it is known that Western culture has always impacted people from other countries' lifestyles, it has been proved to have a specific heavy influence on the Asian Pacific region. As mentioned in a Grinnell College article, the start of the Gyaru or Gal subculture can be seen in the Shibuya district of Japan during the late 80s and early 90s with the rise of girls with brown hair, short schoolgirl skirts, and slightly tanned skin. As stated in an article by Lily Baxter, the term gala is even said to be born from American fashion brands Levi's and Wrangler, who used the word gals in their advertising of women's jeans in the late 60s and early 70s, coinciding with the rise of women's independence and Western fashion. Gyaru girls are said to have mirrored Western fashion culture in Japan as a way to rebel, while also showing their status as style leaders through their ability to buy Western fashion items. Again mentioned by Grinnell College. Declared by author Philomena Key in their novel Tokyo Fashion City, the trend, which started as a rebellion, ended up putting Shibuya on the street fashion map, making it a magnet for various fashion buildings, such as Louis Vuitton. Along with the fashion style, makeup looks and products became more dramatic and flashier than the classic, natural Japanese appearance. The gals began to use heavy eyeliner, large eyelashes, and other makeup skills to produce an illusion of bigger, wider eyes.
With the hopes of achieving these larger and more pronounced eyes, again straying from the customary beauty standards of Japan, some members of the Gyaru subculture participate in eyelid surgery, which some could say that people undergo to attain a more American eye and appeal to Western looks. This surgery removes the typical monolid that is seen in many Asian cultures and creates a double lid, which further imitates the look of eyes in American and European countries. While this surgery can be for clarity reasons, it is more common for the reasons to be cosmetic. This example once again emphasizes the influences that different cultures can have on others, specifically in this case, Western looks and the structure of Western faces. It creates beauty standards that are not naturally attainable, forcing people who want to achieve these standards to alter their bodies in possibly dangerous ways. There are so many subcultures that are completely unknown by many individuals. It is only through gaining as much information as we can about others that we can work to eliminate ethnocentric bias. Understanding others and their different traditions can help reduce ethnic and personal divisions, as well as creating more opportunities to connect with others. The Gyaru subculture represents only a small part of what many people do not know about the world and influences the millions of cultures. It highlights how certain cultures can affect each other by showing the influence that Western culture and fashion has had within Japan. Along with this, it also shows how the idea of self-perception and appearance within cultures can change and develop. Underneath the major Japanese culture, Gyaru has branched greatly into its own group of individuals, establishing new customs and traditions. Studying and observing as many different cultures as possible can allow for one to create a new and potentially more meaningful understanding of life in general, while also constructing a more united and cohesive world overall.